Good morning all. In this session we are discussing insect wings. Insect wings. Among all invertebrate animals, only insect possesses wings. No other invertebrate have wings in them. Wings are present only in the adult stage of an insect life cycle. There is no wings in egg stage, larval stage and pupal stage. The number of wings vary among species from 2 pairs to the none. See here types and exception. Primitives aterous insects. Some primitive insects like silverfish, springtail are aterous, wingless throughout their life. Secondarily wingless insect. Sudden ectoparasite like head louse, poultry louse, fleas lost their wings through the evolution process. Therefore, they are secondarily wingless. Deciduous wings. Insect like ants, termites have deciduous wings. Wings are shed after mating or during colony formation. Single pair of wings. Insect of the order Diptera, that is true flies, have only one pair of wings. That is, 4 pair of wings is there. The second pair is modified into the halters. This halter help in balance during the flight. A wing is the most important character of insect. Based on wings only, class Insecta is classified into 29 orders. Class Insecta is divided into 2 subclasses, that is subclass 1 Aterygota and subclass 2 Pterygota. Under Pterygota, division 1 that is Exopterygota and division 2 is Endopterygota. Therefore, a wing is the most important character of insect for their classification. See the insect wing structure and region. In most insect, 2 pairs of wings are there, that is forewing and hindwing. These wings are attached to the pterothoracic segment, that is mesothorax and metathorax. Due to the presence of wings in mesothorax and metathorax, we are calling that 2 segment combinedly as pterothorax. See the wings shape and structure here. Insect wings are generally in triangular in shape and has 3 margins and 3 angles. See the first 3 margins. So this is the costal margin. So this is the costal margin or anterior margin, the front edge of the wing reinforced by a strong vein called costa. Here one strong vein is there, that is costa. That's why its name costal margin. Second one is, this is the apical margin or lateral margin, outer edge of the wing. Next one is the anal margin. So this is the anal margin. Rear edge of the wing is the anal margins. Like that, in insect wing, 3 margins are there, that is costal margin, next apical margin, next anal margin. Like that, in insect wing, 3 angles are also there. That is 1 humeral angle, apical angle, and third one is the anal angle. So this is the humeral angle at the base where the wing joint the thorax. Apical angle. This is the angle between the costal and apical margin. It is there at the tip of the wing. Next, anal angle, it is there between the apical and anal margin. So like that, in insect wing, three margins are there and three angles are there. That angles are humoral angle, apical angle, and anal angle. Wing region, remizium and venous. So this is the remizium and this is the venous. The front part of the wing is the remizium. This is rigid and supported by so many longitudinal and cross wing. The back part of the wing is the venous. This is a flexible area without strong wing support. See the types of insect wings. That is one, Tegmina. Example, the four wings of cockroach and grasshopper is the Tegmina type of wing. These are leathery or parchment-like wings. They are protective in function and not used for flight. Elytra. Example, this type of wings are there in beetles and weevils. These are heavily sclerotized, that is hardened wing. These are also in productive function. They protect hind wings. Next type of wing is hemielytra. Basal half of this wing is leathery. See, this is basal half is leathery and distal half is membranous. So this type of wing is known as hemielytra. This type of wings are there in bugs. Halters. Halters are there in true flies, mosquitoes, male scale insects. These are the small knobed hand wings. See here. These are the small knobed hand wings act as a balancing organ during the flight. These halters are there mainly in housefly. Hind wings of the housefly are the halters. Next, fringed wings. Fringed wings are there in thrips. Here, wing is reduced. See, reduced wing is there with long fringes like setae. This is covered with long fringes like setae. This aid in gliding or swimming through the air. So fringing or fringed types of airs, fringed type of wings are there in thrips. Next, scaly wings. Scaly wings are there in moths and butterfly. These wings are covered with colored scales. All these are scales. Their function often used for species recognition and camouflage. Next, membranous wing. Membranous wings are transparent, thin and very delicate. These are the main flayed wings in many insects. These are useful in flight. See example, four wings in houseflies, hind wings in grasshopper, cockroach, beetles and air wings, and both the wings are membranous in wasps, bees, dragonflies and damselflies. Next, pseudo-halters. These are the dumbbell-shaped forewings. Halters are actually hind wings, but pseudo-halters are forewings, that is dumbbell-shaped structures. These also act as balancing organ Example, these are there in Styloped, that is in Strepsiptera order insect. A wing venation in insect. Insect, a wing or leaf-like structure supported by so many hollow, narrow tube-like structure known as wings. See, these all are tube-like structures. The pattern or arrangement of these wings on the wing surface is known as wing venation. On insect wing, two types of wings are there, that is longitudinal wings and cross wings. This longitudinal wing, these are the longitudinal wing that run from base to the margin of the wing. And these longitudinal wings may be convex or concave. Crosswing, this crosswing connect or interlink longitudinal wing, help form closed cells on the wing. See here clearly, longitudinal wings, that is costa, subcosta, radius 1, radial sector, median anterior, median posterior, cubitus 1 and cubitus 2 and anal margin. All these are longitudinal wings. So costa, it is there at top main, that is convex vein. Subcosta, it is there at bottom main, that is concave vein. This is convex, this is concave, this is convex and this is concave. See here, costa. This is the costa, this red color one, costal vein. It is running from base to the margin of a wing. Next one is subcosta. This is subcosta. It is again divided into subcosta 1 and subcosta 2. Next one is radius. Radius is divided into R1 and radial sector. In radial sector, R2, R3, R4, R5 branches are there. Next longitudinal vein is median. It is divided into median anterior and median posterior. Median anterior again divided into MA1 and MA2. Median posterior has MP1, MP2, MP3 and MP4. Next cubitus. Cubitus is divided into cubitus 1 and cubitus 2. In cubitus 1, cubitus 1A and cubitus 1B, two sub-branches are there. Next convex vein, that is the anal vein. It is again divided into A1, A2 and A3. Next jugal veins are also there. Cross vein, that is humoral cross vein. It is there between costa and subcosta. A radial cross vein is there between a radius and radial sector. Sectorial cross vein is there between sub-branches of radial sector. See here. A radio-medial cross vein is there between radius and median. Medico-cubital cross vein is there between media and cubitus. Like that, insect veins are arranged on the surface of insect wing. Such arrangement of veins and winglet on the surface of the wing is known as wing venation. Thank you. In this session, we are discussing types of insect heads. Before going into the discussion, see here structure of the insect head. Insect head is the anterior most tegment of the insect body. This is a highly specialized and sclerotized structure plays a very important role in sensory perception and feeding. See here types of insect heads. Based on inclination or bending or tilting of the long axis of the head, this is the long axis of the head, and the orientation or direction of the mouth part. Insect head are classified into three types. Based on inclination of the long axis of the head and orientation of the mouth part, insect head are classified into three types. They are Hypognathous type, Prognathous type, and Opisthognathous type. Hypognathous head. Hypo mean below, gnathous mean jaw, mean the mouth parts are directed downward. It is also known as Orthopterite type because this type of mouthparts are there in Orthoptera order insects like in grasshopper, locust, cricket and in mole cricket. Here see the long axis of the head is vertical and it is at right angle to the long axis of the insect body. And the mouth parts are ventrally placed and projecting downward. Such type of insect head is known as hypognathous head. Example is grasshopper, locust and cockroach. Prognathous head. Pro mean front, gnathous mean jaw. Here the mouth parts are directed in forward direction. It is also known as coleopterite type of head. It is there in beetles and weevils. Here the long axis of the head is horizontal and it lies in line with the long axis of the body. That mouth parts are directed forward. That's why the name Prognathous head, and example is beetles and weevils. Next type of head is Opisthognathous head. Opistho mean behind or backward. Gnathous mean jaw. Here mouth parts are directed backward. That's why the name Opisthognathous. It is also known as hemipterite type or Opisthorhynchus type. Here the head is deflexed or bent or curved backwards and mouth parts are directed backward and held in between the forelegs. And this type of head is there in stink bug, red cotton bugs. Thank you. In this session, we are discussing insect antenna. Antennae are also known as feelers. They feel surrounding environment. These are paired, highly mobile and segmented structures located between or behind the compound eyes of insect. See here, they are present between or just behind the compound eyes of insect. See their attachment. Each antenna is set into a socket of the cranium is known as antennal socket, and the base of the antenna is get connected to the edge of the socket by means of articulatory membrane that allows free movement of the antenna. See here articulatory membrane. Parts of antenna. Antenna contain basal segment, that is the scape. See here, this is the scape, and second segment, that is the pedicel, and remaining all segments are commonly known as flagellum. Scape. Scape, it is the first segment of the antenna, conspicuously larger than
other segments, and it contains intrinsic muscle that help in movement of the antenna. Next segment of antenna is the pedicel. It follows the scape and second segment of the antenna. It contains Johnston organ. A mass of sense cells are there. Johnston organ function as the cardotonal organ in some insect like mosquito. Cardotonal organ means they act as hearing organ just like ear. This pedicel also contains intrinsic muscle that helps in the movement of the antenna. Flagellum. Remaining all the segment of antennae combinedly form flagellum. It is made up of multiple annuli or flagellomeres. Flagellomere, flagellomere, flagellomere. All these flagellomere combinedly form a flagellum. It's do not have individual muscle and its surface is rich in sensory receptors, and the receptors are innervated by the cerebrum of the insect brain. Flagellum size greatly vary and their shape also vary from insect to insect. Flagellum size and shape vary from insect to insect. Functions of the antenna: help in chemical detection, detect odor, food particles and pheromones. Also help in sensory perception, perceive smell, humidity, temperature change, variation in temperature, wind speed and direction. Environmental awareness: help the insect sense its surrounding and detect potential danger. It also performs specialized functions like hearing in insect like mosquito, communication in insect like ants, grasping to clasp the mate in fleas and to capture the prey in some predatory insects. See the types of insect antenna. Cetaceous antenna, that is a bristle-like antenna, is there in cockroach, leafhopper, and dragonfly and damselfly. Filiform or thread-like antenna is there in grasshopper. Moniliform or beaded antenna is there in termites. Serrate or saw-like antenna is there in jewel beetle and longicorn beetle. Unipectinate antenna, that is one-sided comb-like antenna, is there in sawfly. Bipectinate antenna, two-sided comb-like antenna, is present in silkworm moth. Clavate or clubbed antenna is there in blister beetle. Capitate antenna or knobed antenna is there in butterfly. Lamellate or plate-like antenna is there in lamellicorn beetle. Aristate antenna is there in housefly. Scalate antenna is there in horsefly and robberfly. Plumose or feathery type of antenna is there in male mosquito. Pilose or hairy antenna is there in female mosquito. Geniculate or elbow type antenna is there in ants, weevil and honeybees. Flabellate or fan-like antenna is there in stylopids. Additional fact about antennae in arthropods: all insects possess a single pair of antennae except the order Prochyra. In Prochyra, there is no antennae. Prochyrans are the blind insect. They do not possess eyes and antennae. Antennae are also absent in the class Arachnida. That is, in spider, ticks and mites, there is no antenna. Antennae in crustaceans. Crustaceans like crabs, prawns, lobsters have two pairs of antennae, that is, four antennae are there. Developmental status of the antenna. Antennae are well developed in adult stage of insect. In immature stage, they are often poorly developed. Johnston organ. Johnston organ is there on pedicel of antennae, a cordotonal sensory organ located on the pedicel of the antenna, but it is absent in Dipleura and Columbola order. Thank you. In this session, we are discussing insect mouthpart. See here insect mouthparts, labrum, hypopharynx, mandibles, maxillae, and labium. See in this image, this is the labrum or upper lip. These are the mandible or teeth. This is the maxillae, and this is the labium or lower lip. See here the labrum, mouthpart of grasshopper, labrum. It is also known as upper lip. It holds the food and forms a roof of the preoral cavity. Next, epipharynx. It is there just below of the labrum. Epipharynx, it is the inner side of the labrum and it acts as a organ of taste. Next, mandibles. Mandibles are the teeth of insects, help in cutting and grinding of the food. Next, maxillae. Maxillae help in or assist in chewing, testing and handling of the food. Next, hypopharynx. It is a tongue-like organ, help in saliva mixing. Labium or lower lip forms floor of the preoral cavity and contains sensory pulp. See here, maxillary pulps are there. They are three segmented. Biting and chewing type of mouthpart. These are the primitive type of mouthpart. Mean these are the original, basic or ancestral form from which other forms have evolved, such as piercing and sucking and other mouthparts like sponging type all have evolved from the biting and chewing type only. So biting and chewing type of mouthparts are there in grasshopper, cockroaches, contain parts like labrum or upper lip, mandible or teeth, hypopharynx or tongue, maxilla and maxillary pulp, labium or lower lip, and it contain labial pulp. Types of insect mouthparts. Insect exhibit a variety of mouthparts. They are adapted to their feeding habits, which are broadly classified into two types, that is mandibulate type and haustellate type. Mandibulate type used for feeding on solid food. Mandibulate type includes biting and chewing mechanism. Example, biting and chewing type of mouthparts are there in grasshopper and cockroach. Chewing and lapping type of mouthpart is there in honeybees. Haustellate type of mouthpart used for feeding on liquid food. Involve modified mouthpart forming a proboscis or stylate. Haustellate type with stylate includes piercing and sucking type are there in aphids, mealybugs, hoppers, bugs, whiteflies, mosquitoes, lice, etc. Rasping and sucking type are there in thrips. Haustellate type of mouthpart without stylate are there in houseflies, that is sponging type, moths and butterfly, that is siphoning type. Other specialized type of mouthparts, mask type is there in needs of dragonfly, degenerated type is there in maggots of housefly, Mandibulosuctorial type is there in Antennae and grub. See all these mouth parts along with images and examples. Biting and chewing type of mouth part found in cockroach, grasshopper, and this mouth part are considered as the primitive and basic type of insect mouth part. Biting and chewing type of mouth part contain labrum, mandible, hypopharynx, maxillae, labium, and labial pulp. Sieving and lapping type of mouthpart present in honeybees. It is similar to biting and chewing type, but the mandible are blunt and not toothed in case of chewing and lapping type of mouthpart in honeybees. Piercing and sucking type of mouthpart, that is hemipterous or bug type, present in plant bugs. Piercing and sucking type of mouthpart, that is dipterous or mosquito type, is present in female mosquito. Rasping and sucking type of mouthpart is there in thrips. Here mouthparts are enclosed within a mouth cone, and this mouth cone is formed by clypeus and labrum above and labium below. This mouthpart are also known as asymmetrical type of mouthpart due to absence of right mandible or rudimentary right mandible. Sponging type of mouthpart is there in houseflies. Siphoning and sucking type of mouthpart is there in adult butterflies and moths. Here the proboscis is formed by two galea. Here proboscis is formed by two greatly elongated galea of maxillae, which are zipped together by the interlocking spines and hooks. This is the proboscis. Mandibulosuctorial type of mouthpart is there in this mandible helps in sucking up the juices of their prey, and this mandibulosuctorial type of mouthparts are there in antlion grub. Other specialized type of mouthparts. Mask type of mouthpart is there in needs of dragonflies. Degenerated type of mouthpart is there in maggots of Diptera, that is housefly larvae, and blowfly larvae possess degenerated type of mouthparts. Thank you. In this session, we are discussing insect photoreceptors. They detect light energy and includes compound eyes and simple eyes. Let's see first about compound eyes. See here, these are the compound eyes. These are the compound eyes. This is the compound eye and this is the compound eye. So compound eyes are present on either side of the head capsule of an adult insect and a nymph of Exopterygota. They perceive light energy and able to produce a nerve impulse. And these compound eyes are absent in Procura and reduced in endoparasitic Hymenoptera, Siphanculata and female coccid insects. See here, the individual unit of compound eyes are known as Ommatidia. See, thousands of Ommatidia are there here. They vary from one in the worker ant to the over 10,000 in the eyes of dragonfly. So in this ant, only one Ommatidia is there for compound eye, but in case of dragonfly, around 10,000 Ommatidia are there for each compound eye. If the number of Ommatidia are more, they are remain closely packed and attain a hexagonal shape. If they are very few in number, they remain loosely packed and attain a circular shape. Ommatidia consisting of two parts, that is dioptic apparatus, that is cornea, corneogen cell, crystalline cone, primary pigment cell. This act as lens. Next, receptor apparatus consisting of retinacular cell, secondary pigment cell, and this form the image. Next, simple eyes are ocelli. These are up to type dorsal ocelli and lateral ocelli. Dorsal ocelli are there in nymph and adult of hemimetabola and adults of holometabola, but lateral ocelli are seen in the larvae of endopterygotes. Dorsal ocelli, 3 to 4 in number, arranged in a triangular fashion between the compound eyes with a median ocellus. Lateral ocelli are stemata present on either side of Endopterygota larval head, 1 to 6 in number and sometimes 7 on each side. This dorsal ocelli are stimulatory organ, improves the sensitivity of the compound eyes, but lateral ocelli, these are respond to light, perception of moving object, color, form and distance. This dorsal ocelli are seen in the nymph and adult of hemimetabola and adult of holometabola insects, and dorsal ocelli of cockroach is represented by fenestrae. Lateral ocelli seen in larvae of endopterygotes. Thank you.